1 second.
Okay.
Okay, we're all set.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon. This is the March 8th meeting of the Senate Executive Nominations Committee. I hope everyone got their amended agenda. We removed a few people that we interviewed last year. Didn't feel it was necessary to bring them back a year later. So we have 24 people on the agenda this evening. And if there are any questions or anything, I'll move right into the first nominee. And that is with the Assistive Technology Loan Program Board of Directors. And it's Latricia Lee and Senator McCray. You there, Senator McCray?
Senator Young, she just checked in. Let me admit her.
Him. Or Latricia Lee.
Okay, she should be in now.
Okay. Is Latricia Lee in?
I am here. Can you hear me okay?
Okay. How about Senator McCray?
I have not seen him.
If not, unless someone else is here who knows you and like to introduce you, you can just tell us a little about yourself and we'll go from there.
Are you referring to me, Latricia?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I know it's 5 and it's Monday, but we will get a little bit of warmer weather this week, which is great. So I am currently working with Maryland Accessible Telecommunications. I have a background in accounting and project management. In fact, I have a PMP, and yesterday I just earned my SAFE certification, Scaled Agile Framework. I love numbers. I'm very good with budgeting. I just want to basically help in more ways than I can do in my current position. Any questions?
Okay. Are there any questions of Ms. Lee? I'm strolling across. I don't see any. So if not, thank you very much. And we will move on to Dominique Sessa, and I see Senator Carrozza on the screen. So Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm grateful for this opportunity to introduce Dominique Sessa, who's been nominated to serve as a member of the Assistive Technology Loan Program Board of Directors. And this is especially meaningful to me as I was part of the team when Governor Ehrlich actually elevated the Department of Disabilities to cabinet level. And I note Dominique's very strong commitment for a more accessible, inclusive Maryland, and her own words that it's essential to see women with disabilities represented. And Dominique leads by example. She's the founder of the Girl in the Pink Wheelchair website, and she's one of the organizers of the Disability Awareness Month in the city of Salisbury. And during the COVID-19 pandemic, Dominique founded the Delmarva COVID Crafters, which has distributed thousands and thousands of face masks to those in need. Her focus on assisting our underserved communities has inspired others, and she's pulled in a lot of other people because she makes it fun. So I respectfully ask my colleagues to support Governor's nomination of Dominique Sessa to serve on the Assistive Technology Loan Program Board of Directors. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator. Ms. Sessa?
Yes.
Would you like to say anything?
Thank you, Senator Carrozza. That was so wonderful. And thank you for such a lovely introduction. Thank you. And I'm very passionate about this position because, like I said, I think it's very important for people with disabilities, especially women with disabilities, to be represented, especially from the Eastern Shore. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to potentially serve in this position. I take it with a lot of weight. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. And thank you again.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions? If not, thank you very much. And if there's no objections, I'm going to skip just a little bit. I know Senator Gosselin has to leave early, so I'm going to jump to the Civil Rights Commission and Diane Bernier and Senator Gosselin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Is she here?
I just admitted her, so give it a second.
Hi. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm happy to introduce Diane Bernier. If I'm pronouncing it right, I apologize if I'm not. She is had a long career in both the public and private sectors, some very impressive positions in the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. Looking at her resume, she's got like 4 or 5 pages of amazing accomplishments over her career. She currently is the executive director of a very important nonprofit, Fidos for Freedom, and I'm happy to introduce her.
Thank you, Senator. Ms. Bernier or Bernier?
Yes. Either way.
Either way.
French or English.
All right. Would you like to say something?
Yes, I would. I'd like to thank Governor Hogan for the nomination to be a commissioner at the Civil Rights Commission and this committee for hearing me out. I had prepared to give a little bit of my history, but I think you all know that now. I'm currently employed with a nonprofit, Fidos for Freedom, where we train service dogs for veterans with PTSD and for others who have hearing and mobility loss. Our dogs are certified by an international organization to meet the highest standards. In this role, I'm also responsible for keeping the business going, especially during COVID, which has been amazing. We also have a wonderful therapy program that we take our personal dogs to give love to educational settings, libraries, schools, first responders. I'm a strong believer in the vision of the commission, and I strongly believe that the state, to fight for the state, our state, to be free of unlawful discrimination. As a person myself with a disability, an invisible disability, and my service dog, we face it from time to time. And it's always been something that bothers me. And being able to promote and educate and outreach to people to teach them and educate them, it's very important. So it would be an honor to be on the committee. So I thank you for this opportunity again. And if you have any questions, please.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions? I don't see any, and I do see you have a very affectionate cat.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't want, he likes to show his butt sometimes, so we didn't.
My dog runs up here while we're talking too. So.
Yep.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we'll finish the Civil Rights Commission with Stephanie Surth and Senator Hayes.
Yes, Stephanie here yet, Mr. Chairman?
We just let her in.
Okay.
Okay. Excellent. Good evening, colleagues. Senator Antonio Hayes for the record. It's a great pleasure to introduce to many of you Stephanie. Stephanie, we've known each other for years. She has committed her life to service. She reminded me earlier that, in every meeting when representing the city of Baltimore and the Mayor's Office of Criminal Justice, she opened every meeting that it's her job to serve, and she's committed to that and lending a voice to those who may feel at times that they don't have a voice. And so without further ado, currently Stephanie serves at the University of Baltimore, UNB, as for the Accountability and Compliance and Outreach Program Director. and extraordinarily, come from a part of my district, Bolton Hill community. So without further ado, Mr. Chairman and colleagues, I introduce you to Stephanie Sir.
Thank you, Senator. Ms. Surth?
Hello. Yes. Thank you, Senator Hayes, for that wonderful introduction. As always, it's such a pleasure to see and hear from you. And I also want to thank the governor for the nomination and for this committee to consider it. A little bit about myself. I have a very varied but grounded background in service. I've served in education, starting with K through 12. I've served in the city in the Mayor's Office of Criminal Justice. I served at the University of Maryland, Baltimore in the Office of Accountability and Compliance, which, as I like to tell our community, means open, accessible, and collaborative. I really think that those concepts, integrity, accountability, are things that we think of almost as negatives when they're not. They're really positive things. And when you think about civil rights and you think about the work that the Commission of Civil Rights does, which includes outreach and education, taking those and making those positive things, listening to the way that civil rights really impacts our communities and the people of our state, and turning that into action and that ability to be accountable to them and their experiences. So if anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions for Ms. Surth? Seeing none, thank you very much for being here.
Can I
Thank you.
add something? This is Latricia Lee.
Yes.
Well, one, I didn't have a senator to introduce me. I didn't know I needed one. I'm so sorry. But I do see the gap. The state offers a lot of different services for people with disabilities. I'm on the other end. I take care of my mom. She's legally blind. She has sarcoidosis. She's been on the waiting list for several different programs for years. I don't know why we haven't been called yet, but I see a huge gap between what's offered and what people actually receive. And I would love to be in the median, whereas I can help facilitate getting people what they need.
Okay. Well, thank you very much again. Let's move on to the Aviation Commission then, and Jose Morales, Senator Riley.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to introduce to the committee Jose Morales, local business leader. He is a leadership consultant. He's been on the Maryland Aviation Board before. You might have recognized him. Highly qualified. He's going to do a great job and highly recommend him. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Morales.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Senator Riley. Appreciate it. And also big thanks to Governor Hogan for the nomination. I'm looking forward to serving. I'm honored and looking forward to serving in support of the Maryland Aviation Administration, and particularly to help build a stronger people practice within the administration and at BWI in Martin State. And I'm also very happy to answer any questions that the committee may have.
Okay, are there any questions for Mr. Morales? Seeing none, thank you very much for being here. And we will move to the Critical Area Commission for the Chesapeake and Atlantic Coastal Bays, and Nicole Hassel and Senator Eckert.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. Senator Addie Eckert here today, and I am honored to present to Nicole Ackley. Actually, Nicole is a county commissioner currently serving in Wycomico County on the west side. She will bring great expertise to the Critical Areas Commission and Coastal Bays because of her strong business sense. She's a business owner. She manages her husband's practice. He's an MD there at Tidal Health in our area, and she's a registered dietitian. So she has worked and been a strong advocate for our disability population and making sure that people who have needs have the resources to meet them. So I present to you Nicole Ackley.
Thank you, Senator.
Proceed, Ms. Ackley, and sorry for the mispronunciation.
Okay, that's all right.
Thank you, Senator Eckert, and wanted to thank the governor for his nomination and for your confirmation. I am in the most rural area of Wicomico County in District 2 and have the beautiful waterways all around me. So I'm proud to represent our county in this commission and look forward to being assistants.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions for Ms. Ackley?
Is Ms. Ackley, Mr. Chairman, going to introduce the young lady standing behind?
So this is my children sitting with me. My son just took off. This is my daughter, Grace.
Grace.
Hello, Grace.
Nice to meet you. I got my cheerleaders behind me.
Good
Thanks.
job.
It's always helpful. Okay, I see no questions, so thank both of you for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, we will move on to Jeffrey Ferguson and Senator Hershey.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, fellow committee members. It's an honor to be able to present Jeffrey Ferguson for appointment to the Critical Areas Commission. Mr. Ferguson resides in Chestertown in Kent County, has a broad range of executive management experience, will be a great addition to the Critical Areas Commission. And I am pleased to present him for your consideration.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Certainly.
Mr. Ferguson used to live in Severna Park, very active in the community, very active with legislative issues, monitoring it and making sure we're doing the best job we can. I too highly recommend his appointment. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. Mr. Ferguson? Is Mr. Ferguson here?
He's muted. I don't know if he can.
I see him, yes.
There he is.
That's the second time I
Okay,
unmuted,
good.
but I thank you both for your kind words. I have been active, and I'm at a point in my life where I look at service back to the community as something that I can do. I'm retired now, and this is a wonderful opportunity to help others and to do something on behalf of the state that improves our quality of life. While I lived in Anne Arundel County, I served on the Planning Advisory Board, and I see some similarities between the Critical Area Commission and the PAB. The major difference is that here in the state, we're looking at macro issues as opposed to ones that are germane just to Anne Arundel County. So I'm very pleased to be part of the commission and hope to make an addition as time goes on.
Well, thank you, and thank all the volunteers. No community or the state would be nearly as successful as they are without volunteers. So thank you very much. Are there any questions? If not, again, thank you. And we will move on to Anita Grant and Senator Ellis.
Mute. Okay, Mr. Chairman, I have a lovely letter from Mr. Ellis supporting Ms.
Okay.
Grant, if I can just use a few paragraphs from this letter. I'm writing this letter in support of a favorable vote on the nomination of Ms. Anita Grant to the Critical Area Commission of the Chesapeake and Atlantic Coastal Bays. Ms. Grant has an illustrious list of accomplishments and wealth of experience that make her ideal for the position. Ms. Grant has over 27 years of political service experience with the Social Security Administration, and during that time, she served as senior advisor to the Social Security Advisory Board, which consists of House, Senate, and presidential political appointments who advise the Commissioner of Social Security. Ms. Grant is a visionary and strategic leader responsible for the implementation of Ready Retirement. And with this wealth of experience and knowledge of political service, I endorse and recommend the favorable vote on the appointment of Anita Grant to the Critical Area Commission for the Chesapeake and Atlantic Coastal Bays. Sign, yours in service, Arthur Ellis, Senator.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Grant?
Hi, everyone. I'm so appreciative to be here today and to be considered for this appointment. I've spent 27 years of my professional life in the federal government, but in my personal life, I've always been a champion of environmental conservation and preservation. And on a even personal level, I am a novice triathlete. So I do some of my open water training in the Potomac and the South River. So I'm very concerned about preserving them. And I believe that to be successful, this responsibility must be shared between communities, organizations, and government, which makes my service to the commission even more meaningful. And I want to say thank you to the governor and to all of you for your vote of confidence. And I look forward to serving you and the people of our great state of Maryland. So take care. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Ms. Grant? Seeing none, thank you and good luck. And we'll move on to Gary Mangum and Senator Hershey.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Senator Hershey, to present Gary Mangum for appointment to the Critical Areas Commission. Gary is certainly no stranger to any of us here in the General Assembly. We've seen him numerous times down here advocating for very important issues, but most notable about Gary is he's tireless in his efforts to help and to educate us on certain issues. I can only say that I have learned so much from him and his time. Very appreciated in the things that we've done and we've worked for here on the Eastern Shore. From a business perspective, Gary is an investor and founder of Forward Grow, and us also know that he was a co-owner of Bell Nursery for quite some time. Certainly here in Queen Anne's County, again, Gary's known by many for his work with volunteer organizations, groups. He's always someone, him and his wife, that have been able to be counted on and for their support for the things that we do here in Queen Anne's County. So I'm very proud to nominate and present my good friend, Gary Mangum, for your consideration. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hershey, and much appreciated. I just have to say I've really enjoyed the participation
in majors, so that's another plus for Jack Nicklaus, but Tiger Woods has 15.
Not sure what that is. Anyway, I really appreciated the time on critical areas thus far. I'm moving into year 5, and I just have to say the work done by the professional staff there is just incredible. So far beyond anything I envisioned when I got involved there. Kate is executive director, and Mr. Deegan, the chairman, and the full staff just does incredible work. Special thanks to Governor Hogan for this reappointment, and happy to answer any questions.
Okay, are there any questions for Mr. Mangum?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Senator Eckert here. I would just like to echo Senator Hershey's accolades for Gary Mangum. He's very involved, not only in his own district, but throughout the shores. And he really has built quite an interesting business model. And I think he will continue to do great work on the Critical Areas Commission. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good luck to all the appointees for the Critical Area Commission. I worked with that for a number of years when I was Deputy Secretary with the state, and it's a very important commission, and we'll move on to another very important commission, which I served on the predecessor of this commission years ago, many years ago, and that is the Economic Development Commission. And we have 7 appointees there this evening, so we'll move through those. And I'll apologize in advance. I'm trying to get this name right. August Chiesera and Senator Hedelman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Madam Vice Chair, I am very happy today to be here to present my constituent, Augie Chiesera, who is the president of the Maryland region of M&T Bank, and he's been in that position since 2013, but he's actually been at M&T since 1993, so almost 30 years. He has been very involved in the local business community. He serves as the chair of the Baltimore Development Corporation, involved in the Economic Alliance of Greater Baltimore, as well as the Cultural Institution of Center Stage. And I have the pleasure of asking for your support for Mr. Chiasera for the Maryland Development Commission. I think he will provide enormous amount of contributions. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. Mr. Chiasera.
Senator, thank you so much for the introduction. And it's a pleasure to be here in front of the committee. I'd like to start by simply thanking Governor Hogan and thanking Secretary Schultz for their thinking of me for this particular position and appointment. And I also want to thank the committee for your time to have a conversation and a discussion. I think economic development is going to be key for the state and key for the city of Baltimore as we come out of COVID. And I'm looking to help and assist any way we possibly can. And at this point, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none, just thank you for your service in advance. And we'll move on to Leon Pinkett and Senator Hayes.
Absolutely. Good afternoon again, fellow colleagues. It's with great pleasure that I introduce my dear friend, Leon Pinkett. I met Leon years ago when he had the dubious task of serving as chief of staff of then City Councilman Kiefer Mitchell. And since then, Leon has gone on to do great things in the community, whether it's representing the Baltimore Development Corporation, an advisor to the mayor's office on economic development lately, and his latest task as my very own city councilman. Leon is definitely committed to the community. He's an ultimate professional in economic development. I often call him even now on issues involving the district, but most importantly and above all, a true leader in his faith. He serves, high roles in his church and is committed to his God. And he is a loving father of two. And so without further ado, colleagues, I introduce you to my good friend, Leon Pinkett.
Senator, Mr. Pinkett.
Thank you so much, Senator Hayes, for that glowing introduction. I might need for you to record that and send that to my wife so that she thinks that, never mind, I'm leave it alone. But I just want to thank you again. I want to thank the governor for his nomination. I actually have my son behind me. It worked so well for Miss Ackley. I thought I would bring my son in, to get some brownie points. But so this nomination will go well. But let me say this and get out your way. With the issues that are facing our state and nation, in the midst of this global pandemic, economic downturn, I don't believe that there's a more important time to serve on this commission and to participate in the creation of policy and oversight as it relates to the economic goals of the state. And so I'm honored to be considered for this role and welcome any questions. I consider it an honor to serve and to serve in this capacity. So thank you once again.
Thank you. And thank you for your son providing a couple seconds of entertainment behind you. Are there any questions for Mr. Pinkett? Appears not, so looks good. Thank you very much. And we will move on to Saif Raymond, Dr. Saif Raymond and Senator Hester.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. I am proud to be here today to introduce Dr. Saif Raymond, a resident of Glenelg, right around the corner from me, to serve on the Maryland Economic Development Commission. He is an accomplished senior level business professional with a 30-year track record of leadership in organizations such as KPMG, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Accenture, Department of State, and so forth. In 2006, he started his own business, Next Gen Consulting, and received recognition as one of the fastest growing IT companies in America. I also know that Dr. Raymond is deeply committed to public service. He served on Howard County's NAACP board, on the National Center for Women Entrepreneurs, and he's also a member of Maryland's Consumer Council. Thank you, Dr. Raymond, for your commitment to public service. It's my pleasure to introduce you to the members of the Executive Nominations Committee.
Okay.
Is he here?
Yes, I am.
Dr. Raymond.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Senator Hester. Good evening. My name is Saif Raymond. I'm a 17-year Howard County resident. My story is no different than any first-generation immigrant as I came to this country about 36 years ago for education and better future. Looking back at the past 36 years in this country where my parents had to borrow money just to buy me a plane ticket to get here, to my early years working at minimum wage at McDonald's in order to pay my rent for a room that I shared with 6 other roommates, and now to be in a position to be nominated by the governor and appearing in front of this committee today, I'm honored and humbled. If confirmed, I will bring my 30 years of work and 16 years as a small business owner experience to the Economic Development Commission and hope to make a difference while serving. I sincerely thank Governor Hogan for nominating me for this position, Senator Hester for the kind introduction, and this committee of senators for your valuable time. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, thank you very much. And are there any questions? Seeing none, you're getting off easy.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to Gary Ruddell and Senator Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. It's a real pleasure of mine to introduce Gary Ruddell, a real good friend of mine, to serve on the Maryland Economic Development Commission. Gary started out in the family business of Hobby House Press, and he created the magazine division in that business and published over 400 book titles. He went on to sell the magazine division and then established a company, Total Biz Fulfillment. He's a lead team. He led the team that produced over 53 different companies and international and domestic products. He's produced 11 million, this is 2018, million in revenues and shipped over 140 million domestically and internationally. He has 130 plus employees, full-time associates, and during the peak time, it goes up to around 200 or more. Is one of the largest employers in Garrett County. He's developed 3 large facilities, 2 in Garrett, 1 in Allegheny, that houses over 300,000 square feet of warehouse space. He's a director of the First United Bank and Trust. He was on the Garrett County Economic Development Corporation. He's a lead investor in MSG Glendale Properties in Garrett County, which is a subdivision at Deep Creek Lake. And he was a director up until 2016 of the Maryland World Class Consortia company, and he remains engaged with that company. And we look forward to him to continue to expand economic development in Mountain, Maryland, and I highly recommend him to be appointed to this commission.
Thank you, Senator. Ruddell, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Would you like to say anything?
I'd be delighted. Thank you very much for considering me. It's an honor to be nominated by Senator Edwards and also Governor Hogan, our 143 now passionate full-time associates. Really love to work and serve the 53 different manufacturers from around the world. About half of them are U.S. manufacturers, and with our services, they can focus on their core competencies of building their brand and maximizing their sales. I look forward to giving my skills of working through the Port of Baltimore. We had almost 1,200 inbound containers last year. My knowledge of logistics, and our company processed almost 250,000 business to consumer orders last year. Obviously a growing phenomena in the States, and expect it to continue to grow. So be happy to answer any questions.
I think we'd all love to see you continue growing, so keep up the good work. Are there any questions? I don't see any, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we will move to Dr. Paul Silber and Senator Edwards again.
I think it might be me, Mr. Chairman, Senator Hester.
Okay, sorry, got the wrong name here.
That's quite all right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm proud to be here today to introduce Dr. Paul Silber to the Maryland Economic Development Commission. Mr. Silber is the founding principal of Blue Venture Investors, which supports early stage entrepreneurs in the Mid-Atlantic region. They currently have 50 investments, including over 30 in the cybersecurity sector, $64 million in assets, and they've produced 8 successful exits to date, including Interfolio and Unvalence. He's received numerous awards for his work, including Maryland Entrepreneur of the Year for High Technology, State of Maryland's International Leadership Award, and Baltimore Business Journal's 40 Under 40 Top Business People. He also holds over 6 different patents in the pharmaceutical industry. So with this immense amount of experience as a serial entrepreneur and an investor, his experience will be a very valuable addition to the commission. Thank you, Mr. Silber, for being here. With that, I highly recommend you to this committee and introduce you.
Thank you, Senator.
Thanks, Senator Hester. Let me just say that 40 Under 40 award was a long time ago. I'm honored to be nominated by Governor Hogan and Secretary Schultz. I appreciate the support, and I appreciate all that you do, senators, especially in this time of COVID when we all have to be remote. It's nice to see government still at work. Before I was an angel investor, which is how I spend my time these days, I successfully grew and then sold a biotech company. I did that for 15 years. I was proud to have hired and paid a lot of employees. And I think when people ask me what I'm most proud of, I think it's the fact that I never missed a single payroll, and any small business owner can appreciate that challenge at times. Not that we didn't have challenging times, and so now I've learned, I've evolved from being a scientist and a business person to an investor, because I just really like the good parts of ethical capitalism and helping other companies to grow and to hire people and to just expand the economy. That's what I do. And so I'm honored to be considered for this position, and hope to have your support, and I'm willing to answer any questions.
Okay, are there any questions? If not, thank you, and I'm sure that Senator Edwards would like to have you out there, but Senator Hester might not like that.
You can come on out.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So next we have Eugene Silverman, Dr. Silverman, and I think that is your district, isn't it, Senator Edwards?
That's correct. That's correct. It's my pleasure to introduce another outstanding Mountain Marylander to be appointed to the commission. Dr. Silverman is an industrial technologist with over 30 years experience in the design and fabrication of smart sensors and remotely controlled mobile robotic systems for above ground storage tanks, pipelines, and for integrity assessment of mechanical structures. He's a pioneered the application of a range of mechanical integrity assessment techniques for plant components, tanks, vessels, and pipeline management program. Dr. Silverman is the president of Berkeley Springs Instruments, which came to the Cumberland area several years back, and they're doing a tremendous job. They are now expanding and moving into shortly. I don't think it's completed yet, Dr. Silverman. It might be. I haven't been down past there lately. Whole new facility in the Frostburg Business Park where he'll have room to expand. He's expanding the number of employees, which is great for our neck of the woods. And he has managed development, fabrication, commercialization of over 25 unique robotic systems used in the things I mentioned previously. He also has extensive experience in design of commercial nuclear reactor control rooms and simulators. He's worked with the U.S. Navy for a period of time and the Department of Defense. And Dr. Silverman has been granted over 10 U.S. patents. And I believe he will do one heck of a job on this commission for the citizens of the state of Maryland.
Okay, thank you very much, Senator. And Senator Silverman, Dr. Silverman.
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Very well.
Fine, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. It's good to meet everybody, and grateful for and honored to help serve and find a way that I can contribute to the community, especially Western Maryland. I've lived most of my life in Maryland, grew up in PG County, went to high school in Montgomery County, raised my children in Howard County, and now located, of course, in Allegheny County. As Senator Edwards indicated, I currently operate BSI, Berkeley Springs Instruments, which is now located in Cumberland. Company is about 14 years old. It actually morphed into a company that I formed back in 1980 when I was in Howard County. And it was an engineering company doing a lot of work for the nuclear industry and the US Navy. And that morphed into a firm called Intac that was part of an investment group with the Carlyle Group. Then that morphed into another firm, and then BSI eventually is a company that I formed in retirement, came out of retirement, located to Western Maryland, close to my wife's family. And we began to grow. We have about 25 employees right now. We just entered into a private public partnership with the county. Our building, Senator Edwards, will be finished hopefully in September of this year. And our focus is on innovation, advancing technology, finding ways to attract young entrepreneurs and young engineers, young programmers to the area. So we've come a long way, and we're just getting started.
Well, thank you. And it looks like you kept moving west. I'm sorry you skipped Frederick, but we're glad to have you in Maryland. Are there any questions for Dr. Silverman? Looks like not. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And last one on this board would be Jeffrey Turner and Senator Eckert.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair and colleagues. I am honored to be here today to introduce to you and to recommend Jeff Turner. He's the president and CEO of Chop Tank Transport. That is a nationally recognized third-party logistics provider based in Preston, Maryland. Actually, this is an incredible story. Jeff started that company in 2000 with 6 employees. In 5 years, it went to 23 employees and a $19 million in revenue. And in 2019, he had 375 employees and surpassed $300 million in revenue. He is quite a community activist and player. Whenever there's a need, Jeff and his team are out there with all of their crew members. He's been recognized as the rock star of the Supply Chain Champions in 2019, and he's also involved in global trade, America's leading 3PLs. So I highly recommend to you to add to all of the illustrious stars on this panel tonight, Jeff Turner.
Thank you, Senator. And I love all these job creators, Mr.
Yeah.
Thanks, Senator Eckert. That was a nice opening, and I'd like to thank the governor and Secretary Schultz for nominating me. It's quite an honor to be in front of the committee today, and it's even more of an honor to start a business on the Midshore. And to update your numbers, Loaddy, we're over 400 employees now.
Wow. Yay.
And the supply chain industry, you can see from the pandemic that's going on how important the supply chain and the networks are. We move a lot of food, and that is just such an important part of the process to make sure that everything gets on the shelves for folks around the country. So we've got a great business here. We're actually renovating a new facility in Easton, Maryland now, where we're going to add another 200 jobs. So I think I can add a lot of value in talking about rural job creation and the supply chain side of understanding how freight moves about this country and that. So be glad to take any questions, and thanks to the committee for hearing me, and would love to be a part of this committee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I like your license plate decoration there. Any questions for Mr. Turner? Appears not, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the Board of Directors of the Maryland Economic Development Corporation, and Edward Gosselin and Senator Elfreth.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. For the record, colleague Senator Sarah Elfreth, representing Maryland's 30th District, here to proudly stand with my constituent Ed Gosselin, who is a business leader. He has a specialty in commercial real estate investment and development. He is a partner at Chesapeake Real Estate Group over in Hanover. Locally, he and his wife are very involved in many of our great organizations. He's on the board of the Anne Arundel Community Development Services, the Annapolis Lighthouse Shelter, the Boys and Girls Club. So he is incredibly qualified both professionally and with his civic duties here locally. And I highly recommend Mr. Gosselin for this board. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator. Mr. Gosselin. Do we have Mr. Gosselin here?
There we go. You got me?
Okay.
Okay. Senator Alfred, thank you for your kind words. And Senator Young, thank you very much for holding this hearing today. I want to thank Governor Hogan for this appointment. It's an honor to have the opportunity to serve. And I appreciate all the work that this committee is doing on these appointments and particularly during this trying time. And I do welcome the opportunity to serve on the Medco board. As Senator Elfreth said, I'm a partner with Chesapeake Real Estate Group. Since 2013, we've built and developed about 5 million square feet of industrial complexes around the state. And I feel my experience with the commercial real estate development community, regional land use issues, and then being past chairman of the board of Anne Arundel Health Systems and current board member of Anne Arundel Community Development Services, there'll be an asset to addressing the various economic and project-related issue the board faces, which is going to be very critical going forward for the state. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Gosselin? Again, I see none, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll go to the Board of Regents for Morgan State University. I hope we get this close. Stanley Nwakama and Senator Stallings.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee. I want to thank you for this opportunity to present for you consideration. For the record, Senator John Ray Salling, Mr. Stanley Nwakama. And I hope I said it right also. To the Morgan State University Board of Regents. He is a young man and has already an impressive career. He has a Bachelor of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering from Morgan State. He has worked at notable companies and organizations such as Apple, the Aislinn Group, and Facebook. He has also taken on leadership roles and is currently a University Analyst Fellow at Morgan State and a part of the President's Leadership Circle at Morgan State also. Mr. Nwakama was also awarded the honor of being the 2020 Apple HBCU Scholar. In all that, I think with this leadership and this experience both, he shows a ready for this position and shows his dedication to helping Morgan State continue to be one of the best state colleges to attend. I'm happily recommending him and support him, and I'm going to thank you very much. And now, I hope I said his name right, but Mr. Stanley Nwakama.
Okay, Mr. Nwakama.
Thank you, Senator Selin, and thank you, Mr. Chair, for having me on this committee. It's called Stanley Nwakama. The N is silent.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm Stanley, and I am an international student from Nigeria, and I came to Morgan in the fall of 2017. So currently, I'm in my senior year at Morgan State University, and I'm studying electrical and computer engineering. So coming to Morgan on a full scholarship, I thought it was necessary to give back to Morgan. For Morgan to give me the full scholarship to come from all the way from Nigeria down here. So I thought it was necessary to contribute to my campus community. So, and that was why I applied for the role to be the student regent of the Board of Regents. And I have had the honor to work as an intern, to have internships at Facebook and Apple, and I've served on numerous organizations on campus. Like I've also had the honor to represent Morgan at some competitions like the Togomasho College Board, Togomasho College competitions. And also it's my pleasure to be nominated by the governor to serve on the Board of Regents. And I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Wakakama? Again, I see none. And so thank you very much for being here and good luck.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, okay, we'll go to the Police Training Standards Commission, and we have one appointment for that, and it is Barbara Duncan and Senator Carrozza.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm actually very humbled and quite thrilled to introduce Salisbury Police Chief Barbara Duncan to you to be reappointed to the Police Training and Standard Commission. She is a very seasoned, pragmatic law enforcement executive. She leads a department with approximately 100 officers with a population of 33,000 citizens. She is extremely well respected throughout our shore community and the state of Maryland. And she's also the mother of 5 children. And her fellow chiefs and sheriffs will tell you that she does all of this, her service and her family life, with a smile. And so it is very humbling and quite an honor to recommend Chief Duncan to you for her reappointment to the Police Training and Standards Commission. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Duncan, or Chief Duncan.
Good evening, everyone. Senator Carrozza, thank you so much for that introduction. Chair and members, thank you so much for this opportunity. I truly value this opportunity to serve in a different way. Not only do I get to serve my city here on a regular basis, but then I get an additional opportunity to participate and move our industry forward as part of the Police Training Commission. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Chief Duncan?
Mr. Chair, Senator Chair, I just want to echo Senator Carrozza's recommendation. This chief is outstanding. Her leadership, her community engagement is second to none. So I wholeheartedly support her. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, with that, we'll move on to the St. Mary's College Board of Trustees and Melanie Hilly. Senator Riley.
Thank you very much. Ms. Hilly is eminently qualified for this position, first of all, because she's a graduate of St. Mary's College. She then went on to get her law degree at the University of Baltimore School of Law, currently Price Waterhouse, and very well qualified to assist the board with their decision making. I highly recommend Ms. Hilly. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Hilly. Is Ms. Hilly here?
She is here. I'm not sure what's going on.
Ms. Hilly, can you unmute yourself?
Doesn't look like she's enabled her microphone.
Okay, well, I'll skip over it, and if she gets back on, let me know and we'll give her a chance to say something. Next is Jesse Price, and unfortunately they did not write a district down here. Is there someone here for Ms. Price?
Chair,
right.
Chair Young, Jesse Price is from Washington, D.C. So.
Oh, okay, I guess that's what. Ms. Price, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Mr. Price, sorry. Would you like to say a little something about yourself?
Absolutely. I guess I'll freestyle. Chairman, Chairperson Young, Chairperson, Vice Chairperson Vital, and to all the members of the committee, good evening. My name is Jesse Price. And let me first say that I hope that everyone is well and safe, and that we are indeed seeing the light at the end of the tunnel of what we can only describe as a global tragedy. It is an honor to appear virtually before you this evening as you deliberate my nomination to serve as the trustee of St. Mary's College of Maryland. Your consideration of my appointment is very personal to me, as it is a continuation of over 30 years of affiliation with the college. As a graduate, I can attest to the college's commitment to serving and providing a high quality education to students from all areas of the state of Maryland and beyond. As a one-time employee of the college, I can attest to the deliberation and care that goes into the building and maintenance of a reputation that is the envy of institutions of higher education beyond Maryland's borders. And I'll add that that is a tradition that is being upheld by President Tawana Jordan as we speak. As an alum, I have appreciated the open ears when I've occasionally contributed my views on sundry challenges and opportunities as I see them. All told, St. Mary's College is a jewel in the state's crown. I've seen it grow without losing respect for students from underserved backgrounds. I've seen its physical plant improve while still appreciating the beauty of its environment and its historical merit. If confirmed, I will do my best to uphold the standards of excellence set by this body, Governor Hogan, the citizens of the state of Maryland, and the students, faculty, staff of St. Mary's College of Maryland. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Looks like not, so very good. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I think Ms. Hilly might be able to talk with us now.
Okay, Ms. Hilly?
I'm here. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Good. I can't do as good a job as Jesse Price. He was one of my classmates back at St. Mary's College, and listening to his speech, what he said.
Okay.
Thanks for your consideration. I appreciate the opportunity to be nominated by our governor to serve St. Mary's College of Maryland, where I also am an alum. I did start my career at St. Mary's College 30 some years ago, and it formed the foundation of who I am today, personally, professionally. It's a very special place, and I'm honored to take this opportunity in my life to give back to the college.
Okay, thank you. In case you didn't hear it, Senator Riley spoke well of you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Are there any questions for Ms. Hilly? It appears not, so thank you very much for being here. And we'll move on to the Board of Directors of the Maryland Technology Development Corporation, and it's Amita Shikula and Senator Lee.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, I'm Senator Susan Lee, District 16. Amita Shukla, this is for her. It's a real privilege and honor to urge my colleagues to reappoint her to the Maryland Technology Development Corporation. She's an innovator, an entrepreneur who's both knowledgeable in issues of healthcare, bioscience, biopharmaceuticals, emerging technologies, innovation development, and venture capital matters, and has served as a distinguished speaker on many of these issues. She's also the founder, current founder and current CEO of Vita Mita in Bethesda, Maryland, and has been the principal of New Enterprise Associates, the vice president of Amita Corporation, and an analyst. She served as an analyst at Merrill Lynch. She has served as a board member, of course, Maryland Technology Development Corporation, which we call TEDCO, since 2010. And she's also an adjunct lecturer at the Johns Hopkins University and mentor in resident for the university's technology ventures. She's also a board member of Bethesda Green. And also she's been active in our community, serving as president of the Stanford GSB, Washington, DC, Baltimore chapter. And she's been a board member of the Global Liver Institute and many other groups. She's devoted her free time to advancing very good causes in our community. She holds a BA in biochemistry from Harvard and an MBA from Stanford.
I believe very strongly that her reappointment will contribute much to the important mission and work of TEDCO. I urge my colleagues to respectfully support her reappointment to TEDCO. Thank you.
Thank you. And Lola?
Yes, thank you so much, Senator Lee, for that kind introduction. I truly appreciate it. I am honored to have been renominated by Governor Hogan and thank this committee for your kind consideration. I am very passionate about entrepreneurship in the state of Maryland, and as we emerge from this pandemic, look forward to helping support our entrepreneurs and rebuilding and strengthening our economy across all sectors. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Ms. Gula? Apparently not, so thank you very much. And we'll move on to our last two appointees of the night for the Board of Directors for the University of Maryland Medical System, and Karen Price Ward and Senator Peters.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I first met Karen at Oak Creek Homeowners Association. She was the social committee chair, and I didn't realize how much talent she had. She has worked for Southwest Airlines for 20 years, starting in St. Louis and working her way up to the national outreach team there. She got her MBA at Hopkins and her undergraduate at Southeast Missouri State University. And I think she was the homecoming queen. I'm going to embarrass you a little bit, but she's all over the state in terms of her accomplishments. Just a few things. She's on the board of St. Anne's School in Annapolis. She was on the Greater Baltimore Committee President's Advisory Committee, Hippodrome Foundation, NAACP Advisory Council, Northern Virginia Urban League of Board of Directors, and BWI Business Partnership Board of Directors. I mean, she serves the whole state, numerous awards, and I'm really honored to have her as a constituent, and I'm glad she's been appointed to this board, and I highly recommend her for the board. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator. Ms. Price Ward?
Yes, thank you. Good evening, and thank you, Senator Peters, Mr. Chairman, Vice Chair, and members of the nominating committee. I am very humbled and honored to be nominated by Governor Hogan to be a new public servant on the University of Maryland Systems Board. And I do have a passion for serving the community, so I am really looking forward to serving on two committees specifically, the Corporate Social Responsibility Committee and the Diversity and Inclusion Committee. And those two committees do align with my 25-year corporate America responsibilities. So thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, can I
Mr. Chair.
Senator Kelly.
Yeah, although the statewide people weren't required to show, I do have three of them. And if I could just say a quick word.
Sure.
Great appointees. Well, for the dental board, Harry Razdan, who's a very young person, great resume, doing a number of things in business enterprises. Melissa Rodas, who is a graduate of so many colleges and universities and who has worked for so many, as well as in the economic development sector. And he is here for the Economic Development Commission. He served as secretary in the state of Maryland for Business and Economic Development from 2003 to 2007. And also Janice Green, who is a griot and has done performances and historical work in the arts in Brazil, Canada, Zambia, South Africa, Egypt, and on Carnival Cruise. I won't say more, but I recommend them all.
Okay, thank you very much. And before I let Ms. Price Ward go, anyone have any questions for her? If not,
Chairman,
Senator Vital.
Senator Biden, thank you. I just want to say how nice it is to see Karen Price Ward again. I've missed her at the BWI Business Partnership, and I know she's going to be a great asset to the GUMS board because she was a wonderful asset to the business partnership in the Southwest. So nice to see you again.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
And last of this evening is Robert Schultz and Senator West.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good evening to all my colleagues. Bob Scholes is one of my best friends. I've known Bob for nearly 50 years. For many years, Bob served as the managing partner of Niles Barton and Wilmer, one of Baltimore's most prominent law firms. For the first 5 years of the Hogan administration, Bob served as the governor's chief legal counsel. He retired last year, so this appointment means he'll be coming back into public service, leaving retirement behind. One of Bob's strengths is his ability to dispassionately and critically evaluate complex issues. The UMS board could certainly use someone with Bob's independent judgment. He will be a great member of the UMS board of directors, and I now give you Bob Scholes.
Okay, thank you, Senator. Mr. Schultz?
Thank you to Senator West for the introduction, and thank you, senators, for considering my nomination. I'm appreciative of Governor Hogan for his confidence, and I hope to earn yours this evening. I've been serving on the UMS board since June, serving on 2 committees, audit and compliance and governance and nominations, both of which fit my background as a former chair of the State Ethics Commission. So I'm looking forward to continuing to serve on this board with your approval, so we can continue the work of not only helping this board into the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of Mr. Schultz? It looks like not, so thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
And that concludes the hearings. If Mindy, if you'll let me know when we can proceed, I shall.
You can proceed, Senator Young. We're still live.
Okay. Does anyone desire to pull anyone off either the agenda tonight or the ones that weren't heard for any reason? If not, I'll entertain motion. Senator Bidle. Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll make a motion that we accept all the nominees that appeared tonight and the nominees that were not required to appear.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Okay, any further discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. I assume that is unanimous. And with that, the meeting is concluded. Thank you all for being here on time and moving